Okay, so what do you do if you have to determine the missing dimension of one of the prisms when it's giving you the volume? All you have to do is you take all your information, plug it into your formula, and you work backwards. What I mean by that is, I drew the figure here a little bit. It's a little bit crazy, but it's still the figure. Okay, so to find the volume of a rectangular prism, you're going to do the area of the base times the height. In this case, the area of the base down here is a rectangle. So in order to find the area of a rectangle, I'm going to substitute that big B for length times width because I know that's how you find the area of a rectangle. And then I'm going to multiply it by the height. So now I'm going to take all of the information that it gives me here and I'm going to plug it into this formula. And then I'm going to work backwards to determine what is missing. So instead of the V, I'm going to substitute it for 39.48. My commutative property says that I can actually rotate these things around and still get the exact same answer as long as I'm multiplying them. So I'm going to put that length at the very end and I'm going to plug in the other two numbers that I already know first. So I'm going to do 8.4 times 1 times the length. Okay, so you learned way back when you were learning your multiplication facts that anything times 1 is itself. It works the same thing with decimals. So 8.4 times 1 is still 8.4. So 8.4 times the length is going to give me that 39.48 as my volume. So now instead of multiplying by 8.4, we have to do the opposite of that. And the opposite of multiplying is dividing. And if I divide one side of my operation by 4, by 8.4, I have to divide the other side of the operation by 8.4 as well. So 8.4 divided by 8.4 leaves you with just 1, and 1 times L is L. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. Because my divisor is a decimal, I actually have to turn that into a whole number. And the way that I do that is I need to move this decimal one place to the right. When you're moving it one place to the right, you're basically multiplying by 10. Whatever I do to the denominator, I also have to do to the numerator. So because I move this decimal one place to the right, this decimal right here is also going to get moved one place to the right. So now it becomes 394.8 divided by 84. So now I'm going to go top in, bottom out, and I'm going to divide to figure out what did I multiply by in order to get the length, the width, and the height to equal 39.48. So 394.8 goes on the inside because top in, bottom out. And then 84 is our denominator, it's our divisor. So if I have 3, just 3, I cannot make a group of 84. So I'm going to put a 0 there. If I have 39, I also cannot make a group of 84. So I'm going to put a 0 there. Now I'm going to move over to 394. So I'm going to use a little bit of common sense to figure out, okay, I have to get up into the 300s. I know it's 84 times something. 84 times 4 is going to give me approximately, let's just round 84 to 80. So 80 times 1 is 80. 80 times 2 is 160. 80 times 3 is 240. 80 times 4 is 320. 80 times 5 is 500. Well, that's entirely too much. So I'm going to try a 4 first. So that's 32 plus 1 is 33. So that works. It keeps me below. Let's look at that 5 real quick, and I'll show you what I mean by it's too big. 5 times 4 is 20, so put a 0, carry a 2. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 2 is 42. So I've gone over that 394. So I can't use a 5, but I am going to use a 4. So I need to borrow because I cannot take 6 from 4 without getting a negative number. 14 minus 6 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. And 3 minus 3 is 0. Now I'm going to bring down this 8. So now I have 84 times something is going to have to end in an 8. So as close as we can get to that. I know that 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 times 7 is 28. Both of those numbers end in an 8, but I need to get way up in the 500s. And if I just do 80 times 2, I'm only going to get like 160. So that's not enough. So I'm going to try a 7. 4 times 7 is 28. 7 times 8 is 56 plus 2 is 588, which is exactly what I needed here. So I'm going to use a 7. 8 minus 8 is 0, 8 minus 8 is 0, and 5 minus 5 is 0. So my length is going to be 4.7.